Hello, my friends. Katie Day with the Move Me to Texas team in Houston, Texas, here live in Las Vegas with this guy I found on the street to do a podcast. He said that he was a real estate coach, yes. And I figured we would put him to the test, see if he truly is.
Are you calling me like the homeless of Vegas? Is that you just pick me up off the street?
Picked him up,
I can talk into a microphone. Let's go.
All right. I can't talk into a microphone, so we've got that. Anyways.
We're going old school. It's Vegas. Come fly with me.
I am honored.
Is there editing in this show?
We're not actually. This is going to be unedited.
Oh, even better.
Explicit, unedited. Like I might have to check the explicit.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right.
We'll see how it goes. But the man who needs no introduction, absolutely honored to have on the podcast, Mr. Tom Ferry.
Thank you, Katie. Does everybody know the origin story of how we met?
I don't think so.
It's your show.
It's my show.
Yeah.
So,
but I when I reflect back on that phone, I remember exactly where I was when we were having that phone call.
Yeah.
But you go.
Well, so I followed you for a while. So I got into real estate. I got my license in 2016.
Yep. Was
part-time. Followed you, on Instagram, YouTube, watched the videos, did all the things, like whatever. And then full-time 2017, 2018. You ran this contest that
you
was
had that horrible builder. You're going to talk about, or not builder.
We can get to that, but. And I also think that I have these questions and this thing, and then 1 second in, Tom's like, "This is what we're doing here." So, anyways, you ran a contest.
And you won that free session.
Bought Growth IQ.
Yep.
And then you had to send in your receipt or whatever. But I won a free session, and then Ruby's send in your questions. I had these marketing questions, what do you think I should do for direct mail, and whatever, and. Yeah. Just like this conversation, 2 seconds in, you're digging deeper, asking questions, guiding it along. And then you're screw your questions. We're going deep on your business. And we just went all in within 32 seconds. It was great.
But it was, okay. So for the person watching, obviously you have a lot of context for Katie. I knew when I first, just over the phone. And then of course, I look immediately at before LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, just context, right? We all do that. And I was like, okay, she's already making a bunch of content. She's clearly you've got something going here, but your questions were so vanilla that I was like, what are you talking about?
I was nervous.
How much money are you making? Let's get to the real deal. Yeah. Are you happy? Are you growing? And you were just
happiness?
I have this horrible situation with this one investor. And we were like, let's fix that.
Yeah.
And I get even in that session for the person watching, I don't romanticize that I know the answer. I know the questions to ask. And I think I just validate your truth.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and but what was even crazier, and we talked about this when in Dallas a couple months ago. What was even crazier to me is I wasn't a coaching client. I was I was just some random person that we had at this phone call.
Yeah.
And, then the coach in you comes out and you're like, well, when are you going to implement this? Right. Because it was fire this client or ask for more money or do whatever, or hire someone to do it. So it's not your thing. And I'm like, okay.
You can text me.
And then you're like, you can text me. And then you're like, here's my number. And I was like, holy shit. You're giving me your number? I'm you have no idea who I am. We've never met.
Yeah.
And then the accountability was just deep at that point. And I was like, oh man, I actually have to do this. And I had to call you the next week and you were like, yeah.
Why do you think that's so hard for people?
Accountability?
No, I think making yourself available for others. Because that's all I did. I just made myself available for you. I was like, we just spent 30 minutes. We have a relationship.
Yeah.
We have a connection. You were super open with me. You let me explore and figure out where do we need to examine what's happening in your business? How can I make a difference? But then I think a lot of people I don't know, I hear it so often, we would put it into real estate terms as we don't follow up enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I wanted to know that we spent this meaningful time together. Did you go do something with it? Because I knew you had it, you have it. So I just wanted to make sure that I could get close to that light.
Yeah. I think that for a lot of people, they don't know if it's going to pan out or what's in it for me, right? So they're thinking it from a selfish perspective, and not in the how can I add value, how can I help someone else grow or whatever.
Yeah, it's so cliche to hear people say that nowadays, doesn't it?
What's in it for me?
No, just you got to deliver value.
Yeah, well,
then I'm like, well, how do you deliver value if all you ever do is ask people for business?
Do you know? Tom, do you know anyone looking to buy or sell?
In Houston?
Yeah.
Yes.
Texas. Moving to Texas.
Yes. Yes.
Well, so that's actually something that I want to talk to you about because, I obviously started following you on social, and then you were still putting out a ton of content, not anywhere near what you're putting out now.
I was like, then
you're kind of putting out some content. No.
Yeah.
But the amount of content that you're putting out, and I know you've talked about it before of like other coaches are like, you're giving away everything for free. Right. How is anyone going to sign up for coaching? You have a few coaching clients, clearly, so it's worked.
Yes.
Right. But like, what would you tell someone if they're like, well, as a real estate agent, I don't want to give away my tips for free. I don't want to give away my marketing plan because then I'll never get business or other people will steal it. What? Yeah.
So there's two parts in there. Let's talk about the free part and then the other everybody else stealing your stuff part. Let's do the everybody else stealing your stuff part first. So I subscribe to Madonna, David Bowie, and not Chuck Berry. Right? Nothing against Chuck Berry, right? But like Chuck Berry had one song and he kind of did it over and over and over and over and over and over. And whether he was like 22 or 83, it was exactly the same. Madonna, David Bowie, some of my musical muses were constantly reinventing themselves. They did what every major corporation understands, what every business person understands, what every entrepreneur has to understand, which is if you're not rigorously reevaluating who you are and the difference you're making and how you're doing what you're doing every 18 months to 24 months, as far as I'm concerned, you just become less culturally relevant in your business. Yeah. So the first thing is like, I don't care if I give it all away because in 24 months, I've already interviewed 1,000 other great agents, experimented with 500 different tests, figured out 900 new things. The fundamentals of the fundamentals of the fundamentals, right? But like, just keep innovating and then you don't have to worry about it, right? So that would be my first part.
Yeah.
What was the first part of the question? Doing it all for free?
Doing it all for free.
So you've experienced this. We were talking off camera. Our community, I think, really prides itself on how much agent-to-agent referral business that we transact amongst each other. And unlike some of my competitors that take like a piece of the action all the time, I'm like, this is like, I want you guys to do a bunch of business together. Yeah. I want coaching for free times a million, right?
Yeah.
So I think by giving away, I know by giving away my content for free, it's the same thing I ask all of you to do. The more content you put out, the more you are truly bringing people value, the more people know, like, and trust you, the more you're top of mind. I mean, it's all the stuff that everybody knows, right? But like, maybe for the person watching this, in 2022, what got you to your success in 2021 will not get you to 2022. Period. End of story. All you have to do is look at 2019 inventory nationally, 2020 inventory nationally, 2020, 21.
Yeah.
Like, I was just talking to one of my clients, Katie, like in 2019 in King County, called like Seattle, Bellevue, Renton, Kent, 2019, like 3,000 homes on the market in January, 2,100, 1,100, 397 4 days ago.
That's unreal.
That's unreal.
For Houston, we have 14,000, and I'm like, ugh. Like, right. I can't even imagine that.
Right. And you know, again, Houston's like Los Angeles. Yeah. It's so monstrous. But like in this one marketplace where you would typically have, 2019 was still a bonkers year. A good market, you'd have like 5,000 homes on the market at all times. When you have 397 and you're one of like 25 people writing an offer, it's nuts. So back to this whole situation, like if you don't add new, it's not that your business gets bad, right? It's not like eating a salad today doesn't make you healthy. Right? Eating one cheeseburger doesn't make you unhealthy.
Yeah.
Do it 365 days in a row and watch what happens. So I'm just stressing everybody, like the more content I put out today, the more I get know, like, and trust. The more when they finally say, hey, it's time, they reach out to us. Or if we reach out and say, hey, we're doing an event. Oh, Tom Ferry. Yeah, I got that.
Oh, he follows me around the internet.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Right. So long answer to, I believe in my heart of hearts, and the data backs it up, that agents that have bigger brands that truly are sharing both with consumers and with agents are the ones that are going to win. But that's no different from Zillow beat Realtor.com because they just did more content. Like that's all they did. They just did more content. They did different content, Zestimates, and however you feel about it, it doesn't make a difference. Like they did more, so they got more, period.
I have a question about the vest you're wearing. Is that because it's going to be so cold tomorrow in the room that everyone will need to wear jackets or vests?
Always. You were the only, okay, so literally you were texting me yesterday or DM me, whatever it was, and you're like, hey, you're in the room getting prepped. Is it going to be freezing? And I was like, yes.
Everyone else is like, I'm so excited for the event. You know.
Well, it's because you have like, what are you, like 0.0% body fat?
I wish.
Right. So seriously, where do you have fat? Like that could be the best podcast question of all time. Where do you have fat? Right here in my cheek.
You're fine.
Yeah, so you will be freezing.
Yeah.
Yes. But not like freeze your butt, Arctic thunder, like crazy, but it'll be.
I warned people because there were people in the. I know that you get on the Facebook page some, but like people on the Facebook page were like, "What should I wear?" And what whatever.
Parka,
and I was like,
vest,
someone was like,
scarf.
"Oh, I wouldn't dress up. You should wear pants and like have layers and this and that." And I just commented like, "It will be an Arctic tundra. No, nothing on clothes, nothing on anything else." And it got some reactions.
Yes, two more referrals just for that.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Okay, so obviously, I kind of know your history professionally and everything. I know a lot of people on teams that like family-owned teams and things like that like they're looking to branch out on their own, but they're nervous to leave the brand that their family has built. Yeah. What advice would you give to an agent that's looking to do that?
So I've done that, and I've helped some other people do that as well. I'm going to go a different direction. The first thing I would say is try and figure it out first. You know what I mean? Like in hindsight, like, separating from my dad's business 19 years ago I've never been divorced before, but when I talk to my friends that have been divorced that had like really bad divorces, that's kind of what it felt like, even though today, like we are as close as today as we've ever been.
Yeah.
And we're 18 months later, we were fine.
Yeah.
Right. Like the old line is it's easier to leave than it is to be left. And I had to acknowledge that and say, I left. So now how am I going to go out of my way to, just love on him and just his dad, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's first, like try and figure out making it work. Like going to see like a business family therapist, which there's many of them out there. And these things that are happening in a real estate brokerage today are happening with like, I can name major wineries where, the grandfather started it and now the grandkid's running it and the grandkid wants to do it this way.
Yeah.
But the old man's like, but we've always done it, like there's some honoring in all of that. Right. And then some therapy probably needed.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that helps. Otherwise, I'd say, ready, write a plan to honor whoever you're leaving, right? Take the high road on everything. Like if they sue you, awesome. You with me? Like I'm dead serious. Go the high road. Do not take a single client. Go out of your way to build your own thing because otherwise you're just riding on their shoulders.
Yeah. I don't have a family team, but,
Why'd you ask?
I know a lot of people that do.
Yeah.
So just
There's a lot. I mean,
crowdsourcing.
But you think about it, there's so many great family businesses in this space. And what's awesome is I think about like Maxine Gellens at, 83, Marty, who's 55, Maxine's older son, right, who's not in the business, who's a famous doctor. His son, Zach, is now on the team and did like 13 deals last year. He's coached by Jeff Mays, right, on the team.
Yeah.
So now we're looking at 3 generations in this business with Gellens, the last name, in La Jolla and Del Mar. Like the kid could literally have a couple $100 million sales business just because he just stayed around, hung out, and did the right thing.
Hard-hitting question. How do you feel about cats?
Was that only because Courtney just walked in right there? God, that was perfect.
Huh.
I'm not a cat person, but I will tell you my first pet. Actually, I guess my first 2 pets besides a rat. I had 2 cats.
A rat,
wasn't that like found on the like gutter guy out of the streets? Like no. Like went to the store and bought a rat.
Like a hamster?
No, like a rat.
You can buy rats?
Yes. They were like first of all, what was so great is like
really
I would
good
like.
pets.
So I went to like 5 different high schools, and I remember like going to one of my high schools and like literally like opening up my leather jacket, and the rat just climbed out of the jacket into my locker, and I closed the thing and then went to class like a rat. But no, my first 2 cats, Mott and Dude.
Huh. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
And ever since then, I'm a dog person. If you're a cat person, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
It's not my thing.
I mean, it's fine if you are.
Yeah.
But
some people like giraffes. Some people whatever. Like I like dogs.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Same.
That was a random question.
Well, that was just out of the corner.
Just because, Courtney alert. Courtney might be wearing it. Nope, she's not wearing the sweater with the cats on it, which did scare me.
Yeah. Yeah. That just completely saw her out of the mirror and figured I'd ask to see.
Okay, I'm gonna flip it back on you.
Yep, I'm sure you are.
Where are you in 10 years?
That's a great question.
Will you even be 40? What do you know? Are you like 35, 33, 27, 18?
I'm 72 right now.
72.
So I'll be 82 then.
Okay, so we're talking dog years right now. Okay, got it.
No, I'm 34.
Okay.
So I'll be 44 would be 34 plus 10 is 44. I don't know.
Yes, it is.
I don't know. I'm not even sure where I'll be at the end of this year. Like, so the thing that we're working toward is me being out of production. And, so I work with Jason, right?
Yeah.
But I talk to David Caldwell way too much. And he's always like, well, what does it mean for you to be out of production? Is that zero homes? Is that you're only helping friends? Is that like, always digging deeper? So I think for me, being out of production will free up my time to do more stuff like this, right? But it'll also free up my time to like do something that actually matters. And I don't necessarily know what that means yet, but I know that that's not really selling homes. That's not something that like fills my cup, you know? So yeah.
What does fill your cup?
I don't know.
This is like back on that first call.
No, I know, right? Like
getting all deep.
Is it warm in here? Is it warm in here? I'm feeling a little.
So we turn the air on.
Yeah, no, the air is on. I'm not warm. It's freezing.
Yes.
No,
that's why I'm wearing a vest.
No, I mean, I think that like there are lots of things that I think like charities and things that I like, but I don't know what will be like my thing, right? Like I enjoy supporting different things throughout Houston and Texas and national organizations and stuff like that. But
I can see you writing books.
I'm not very good with words. I did a podcast with Jeremy and he called me to tell me how many times I say like and how annoying it is. But maybe it won't be
like. That was
yeah,
just for
it was like
Jeremy
one
Knight.
of those.
Big shout out.
Yeah.
Yes. What do you think is the future of blockchain? How do you think smart contracts will impact real estate in the next 4 to 5 years?
I think that they're going to have a significant impact. I don't think that I know enough about them yet. So I'm looking forward to
tomorrow.
Yeah, for this week and everything.
Yeah.
I actually met Natalie at Inman this year. So we talked a little bit then.
Good.
We're going to meet up here this week.
I would get her on your show. She's bananas.
I'll talk to her about it this week.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think? Did you see Ryan Serhant said something to the
50% of real estate?
Yeah.
You saw Byron's.
Bought through crypto, which, I mean, I love Ryan. Like, we've had a million conversations. He's a very charismatic, like, rock star. You could argue, like, Bloomberg came out and said, and I don't want to misquote this so anybody can
Google it and comment.
Yeah, the actual article. But I read, like, I don't really look at news, but I do read Bloomberg, like, just to kind of get a sense of, like, financially what's happening with real estate and housing and Ivy Zelman and all that. But it was like half of all luxury transactions will be predicated on the gains from the stock market from 2021 and the gains from crypto. Now, that makes a ton of sense. The later part of his conversation, I agree emphatically on, which is that every real estate transaction will be on the blockchain. And I think the great opportunity right now for maybe some crazy entrepreneur is to go ahead and build the Zillow right now and take every one of the 138 million homes in America, put them on the blockchain, and then you own them.
That's a crazy ask. I also, though, like, there are still counties where they record things in person at the court, like,
for sure.
So I just,
for sure,
as
somebody's
far as
faxing an offer right now to someone, right? Someone's
You've
not.
Seen the meme where
someone's not shooting video right now.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. So I'm not sure, like in small town America where they're faxing offers and.
But look at the sort of the micro trend of Ron, the ability to do remote notary, right? Like, in Texas, like, I bought a house or I bought a house or some units, and like doing it on Zoom and signing, I was like, oh my God, this is awesome.
How amazing is that?
Right. Then you go to California and, Sarah's only available Tuesday between noon and 4. And I'm like, I'm speaking in Minneapolis. Yeah. This is stupid. Yeah. Like, I'm the client. I don't feel served right now. So I think that, like, examples like that are going to become the norm in our industry, that all we want is speed, efficiency, and a better client experience. And I think anything that makes that happen, they're going to win. And I think the blockchain is just a natural extension of contracts to smart contracts to a more stable way of. The bigger question is, like, what's going to happen to title insurance?
Well, I mean, yeah, if there's something that's trackable as far as history, then
right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I was thinking about starting a title company, and I'm not so sure.
No, you should definitely start a title company. Short term, but look at, at 34. At 51, like, I think, I know. I'm going to be in this industry for another 25 or 30 years, right? In what capacity, only time will tell. But, like, it's going to be super fun to watch. Like, my grandmother, Liz Wesley, who sold real estate in Huntington Beach, California, like, in like 1955, 60, retired at like 69 or 70, something like that. Like imagine like retiring in 1970, you were selling $13,000 houses at the peak, but they were at like, maybe, I don't even know, like $4 in the very beginning, right? Imagine if she was alive, God bless her, today, like the evolution that she's seen.
Yeah.
Just MLS books to the MLS to Zillow and all these other cool things. Like it's an exciting time.
So when are you going to make like a Tom Ferry NFT?
Tuesday. We're looking at it, but I like I had a conversation with someone that's very into NFTs and has done a pretty remarkable job killing it in that area. And we're talking about the thing that I like is the utility side of it, right? So to me, my limited, and I'm like you studying it every single day to try and have a better understanding. There's like truly just the great art.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think it's centered around community and culture, and I think a utility, right? So if Shaquille O'Neal or the Lakers or UFC, right? Dana White just launched an NFT project. Like if you're into the UFC, you're in that community. And then if you could be one of 10,000 that has access to something that millions watch every Saturday that happens, like that's special. But then the question is, what are they going to do with that NFT that makes you feel like you're in something even deeper? Do you know what I mean?
The event or the special VIP.
I think for us, it's a no-brainer. But like, look at real estate. Like people will NFT houses. You'll NFT spots in your building that are like, oh, this is where the number one this is the NFT of the number one producer in the company. Like this is that spot, and people are going to want to have access to that. They're going to want to own that. Like there's just going to be so many interesting variations. But for the person watching, like be really clear. Like 1,000 of these. Like my now soon to be 21-year-old son is on his second cryptocurrency. And he's now telling me about the NFT project he wants to launch. And when he told me, I was like, Steve, if you're watching, I'm like, that could be the dumbest idea I've ever heard ever. But then I thought, I'm not 20.
Yeah.
So I need to go to 20 and then say, okay, there's potential there. But like he's doing it. And one of my buddies who his daughter's 15, she's an artist. She's doing it. I think there's going to be a monster renaissance of art and also utility, and only time will tell.
We'll see. I'm still just trying to figure out what it is.
Do you have a Meta wallet yet?
No.
What?
I know.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out how to I just had difficulty earlier sending a video to Jason Pantana. So, I mean, some things I'm like super tech and other things, Instagram's hard. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, so for everybody watching, just to be clear, like I'm not like pro, like, oh my, you have to do all this stuff. I am super pro. If you look at my entire career, it would be culturally relevant. Like you have to be with it with the times. So if you don't know what's going on, you become less relevant. Like, so no different from, Davy Jones becoming David Bowie becoming Ziggy Stardust. Like you have to keep evolving.
Speaking of, are you still riding your Peloton or no?
No, my wife does that. I do 6 days a week of just in the gym with my trainer.
Yeah.
And I'm, because of a hip replacement, like cardio is just not, it's not, I mean, I get like 20,000 steps on a regular day.
Yeah.
Like, this is the hardest thing on the planet.
Well, they just did a
sitting here. Do they have a sitting one? Do they have a walking one?
No, they did David Bowie.
I did see that.
So I got on the other day and I was like trying to find a ride, and that popped up on the screen. I was like, oh, this is
for sure.
I mean, you could do it, but just sit there and listen to it and not actually ride.
I have almost every David Bowie record. I would much prefer to put that on and then just make dinner with my wife and hang out. Yeah.
Beats riding a Peloton.
Yeah. And nothing. I mean, I own a Peloton and I enjoy it. Like, so maybe if I do it like twice a month, it's a big deal. And there's 2 in the gym at my apartment.
When you've got one good ride to do now.
Right.
So.
I do. I might have to do it just for the music.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good time.
Yeah. Are you still like hardcore?
No, not really. I ride it like once a week, maybe.
Yeah.
We actually did a Tom Ferry Peloton group thing where we were supposed to all ride 200 miles in November, and I made the spreadsheet for us all to track. Yeah. Because that's me. You know me.
Yes.
And I rode like 4 days. No, I rode like 10 days of the 30.
I don't know. 10 days is better than no days.
10 days is better than no days.
Right. I mean, that's, like it. I don't know. Shouts like Robert Mack, Tom Toole, Kyle Whistle. Like, there's so many people that
Brandy Pratt was the one who actually killed it.
For sure.
She killed everyone. All the boys.
That gal totally blows me away. I had dinner with her, the Brit Bear, my client George, his former partner Justin, I was in Scottsdale or Phoenix over the summer. We were doing like that little reboot tour that I did like in Houston also. And they were just dropping bombs on non-owner occupied direct mail, how they were killing it. And like, they're going to do a talk tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like
Matt
I'm super pumped.
Invited me, but he didn't tell me that you were part of it.
Oh.
And then I was like, hey man, I can't swing it, whatever. And then
To
like
that
after,
dinner?
yeah.
Oh my God. It was so, it was just perfect.
Yeah.
It was just one of those, like, what, like people ask me like, what do you like most about your work? And like, the answer truly is like those kind of moments. Like we're just chilling. We're just like some rando restaurant that like George, who's a local, right? Like he was like, I don't know, man, just whatever. It's food. It wasn't our last meal, but just the ideas, the fun, and like probably 15% of it was on work. The balance, it was like, where are you traveling? What are you doing? Hey, when COVID ends, what's on your bucket list? Like there was a lot of that.
What's the question? When is COVID going to end?
Well, that, in fairness, that was the summer of 2021, and there was that talk. I do believe COVID will end, or it'll just be the new.
We don't need to get into that.
Yeah, it's the modern version of the flu. Like,
Yeah,
and that, like, I want to be mindful. Like, we both know, like, there's some tragedy in a lot of that, and it tells me that everyone needs to up their immune system.
Yeah, all the vitamins. What would be some advice? Like, podcast is real advice, right?
Yeah.
So, what would be some advice that you would give as far as like the habits that you've seen of high performers?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would be some like daily habits that you think everyone should implement in their day?
I'm processing, because I think about like the wide variety of people and ages and where people are at in their lifestyle. Like the obvious stuff is like, do something to get you emotionally energized every day. So that could be working out, that could be prayer, could be meditation, could be yoga, but like something, like so much of what we do is a transference of energy. And when you find yourself running on empty, you find yourself going to things that make you more empty. Like everyone knows what I'm talking about. Like that's not when you're like, oh, well, let me go listen to that Jim Rohn YouTube video. You're like, oh, let me turn on the news since I already feel horrible. Like, so like doing something that gets you energetically right. And then I would say it's all about things like, are you a single agent or are you a team? If you're a single agent, like there's those routines, right? It's get in, look at the MLS, know what I've got to attack the day. Am I a list person? Am I a checklist person? Am I a schedule person? And go. If you're a team, it's like, team, where are we at? What's going on? What are the constraints of growth? How am I going to solve for those right now? And then you're marching in the day. The thing I will tell you of, even inside our community of, thousands and thousands of these amazing people all over the world, the one that separates, like, if there was a bifurcation between our clients, it's people with a wall board that says I'm going to go on this many listing appointments, and people that don't have one. These people complain about inventory. These people also complain about inventory, but these people have an active accountability to solve for it.
Well, and so what would you say to the person that doesn't want to put their goals or, their scoreboard up on the wall because of what everyone else is going to say?
Stop being a candy ass. I know, I don't know if cursing is, but like,
cursing's fine. Have you met me?
I know, but like, I mean, I don't want to be the first. So blank those people. Like, who cares? Like, if you're not willing to put your ass on the line, if you're not willing to, so, I'm super obsessed right now with Tim Grover, and he's on my podcast tomorrow. He's going to be speaking to us on Thursday.
I am super obsessed.
Okay. So I'm prepping for my podcast with him, and, prepping is key, right? That's everything. And I'm listening to the odds and end things that he's saying, not the 13 things out of his first book or the 13 things out of his second book. I'm looking for the subtle little things because I want to go into those. One of the things he talked about in this interview I was listening to this morning, he was talking about Michael Jordan never went out and told everybody on the floor. So for context, if you don't know who Tim Grover is, he was Michael Jordan's personal trainer and like strength coach. Then he was Kobe Bryant's and Charles Barkley and Dwayne Wade and like just legendaries, right? And he's written all these books sort of on what he learned in the process. And so he said, Michael never went out and said, I'm going to put 50 on you to like intimidate you. He did it because it was a personal thing that he now had to do because he said 50. And that is winning. Like, that's how you win. Like, when I came out and told in 2005 that I was going to have the number one coaching company in all of real estate on the planet, and I was sitting there with like 13 coaches and 4 clients.
Yeah.
I was doing that because I was holding myself to a standard. So I understand if the person says, well, I didn't, actually, I don't understand. Like, raise your level of competitiveness, recognize that, if not in your office, in your home, on my bathroom mirror, all my most important goals are there, right? And it's me against me all day long.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know, that's probably a longer answer than you needed, but like, that's it. Like, stop being a candy ass, get it up there, because the first person that walks by and goes, yeah, that is all you need that day to get your ass on the phone, find a client, serve somebody, make a difference, get another appointment, do another deal, because massive success is the best revenge.
1,000%. So I posted a post on my Instagram asking people for questions.
Oh, perfect.
And I posted and basically just said,
what is his favorite color?
If you could ask Tom Ferry one question, what would it be?
Yeah.
And I used this photo.
Oh, I love it. That's perfect. Yes.
So I've got a few.
Thanks for finding the charming,
I even cut myself out of it. I'm like, I was
I
down
think
below
I was saying
you.
that was a selfie photo.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've got a few.
Okay.
Joggers or sweatpants?
Neither.
Okay.
Neither. I'm like I can't think of the name of the brand, but it's like a Southern California brand, shorts.
Okay.
It could be snowing outside, and I will be in shorts and flip-flops.
Even in Wyoming?
100%.
Okay.
Not for long periods. Not for long periods of time. But definitely like outside, walk the dog, no problem. Bathroom, I'll go to go get my wife a coffee in shorts, flip-flops, and a shirt and a jacket. Funny thing is, I'll wear like a shirt and a jacket and a beanie. I must really I live in the wrong. I need to move to Alaska. That's what I'm getting.
Okay. Got it. You said Alaska?
I don't know, wherever it's really cold.
Okay. Any Alaska agents?
Yes.
Comment below.
Yes.
Tom,
yes.
he's an agent. Where did Banana Street come from?
I don't know, but bananas is just I needed a word other than the F word to describe joy, enthusiasm. I needed it to be a verb, an adjective, and bananas Courtney, do we know where bananas came from? I don't know if we need to make up an origin story. I was climbing through a forest. I was starving on my deathbed. It was snowing outside in a forest that was tropical, and there was a banana tree. Yeah.
All right.
That's the story. That's what I'm going with.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. We'll go to a more professional one. What's your definition of success?
I think about this a lot. I think it changes over time. I think you go through phases of believing you can do it and knowing that you aren't. And then you get to a place where you believe it and you're there, but it's super vulnerable. And that should never end, by the way. I worry all the time. All the time. I'm not afraid of anything, but I'm always in the back of my mind what's the next move? What do we need to do? How do I make sure? You know what I mean? I just think that's just normal. But I'm at a place now, and I think I've been this way for the last decade, where it has very little to do with me and has a lot more to do with all the people that are in my life. That you just want to make sure that the people around you are healthy, happy, moving forward. I want to be the person that my kids believe that I am. So they hold me to a pretty high standard, right? So when they're like, "Hey, you need to lose some weight," I'm like, "Oh." Right, and then I get my ass in gear and get focused, that, happy wife, all that kind of stuff. I think it's just, it changes, right? I'm competitive. I want to be number one, right? I don't want to lose that status, but I also acknowledge that being number one doesn't make my life better or more significant. It's a measurement. You with me?
Yeah. What is one thing that you do every day that's brought you success?
Take my supplements.
If you all don't follow Mr. Tom Ferry on Instagram and have seen him take a photo of his supplements, there are a lot of them.
There are a lot.
It's intimidating.
Yes. No, the scary part is I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, I forgot all my supplements. And I text my wife, I'm like, grab a second piece of luggage. Grab a second piece. I forgot all. She's like, which ones? I'm like, just go into the cabinet, the lower one that's mine, and just put your arm in deep and scoop it into a piece of luggage. I think it might shock people to hear that I still very much affirm the things that I'm striving to be, not things that I am, that I'm validating, but the uncomfortable stuff. I do that still every day. I think I just do a lot of the. Everyone's always looking for this big crazy thing.
The secret to
right, and mine is success by 1,000 little ding 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 ding, and then do it for 32 years, which now I don't need, Courtney, I don't want to tell anybody how I'm doing this anymore.
They can do the math.
It literally makes me feel old. I'm going to start telling people I've been coaching for 8 years. I want to be you. I want to be like, I got into real estate in 2016. I was 11. Now I'm doing 300 deals a year. I own my own company. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Let's see.
I had somebody razz me recently on our podcast. Did you see that? The comment, Brian? Like someone's like, too much joking. And I literally was like,
happiness is so annoying.
I was like, oh, I know. I'm so sorry for having fun. It was actually on your podcast.
Really?
Me, you, I think Zach. I'm trying to think. No. Me, you. What was the last one we did? And it was like, that was like the comment, right? Oh, Courtney, thank you. Cat lady.
I don't even think that we.
No, but because we have a lot of fun. So people miss that, like, there's more points sometimes in the humor than there is in the points. And when you learn in a joyful experience versus a stressful experience, all of a sudden you're more inclined to use it. You're more inclined because it like makes you feel good from the start. But it was just funny, like, someone's like, you're putting out all this free content. Stop making me laugh.
They probably were confused on the name thing. The Mary Jet Katie Day. They probably.
Yeah. I have to work on that delivery. I'm going to turn that into a thing. Like I'm going to send that over to like Dave Chappelle. Yeah. Help me out.
Yeah.
I need a skit on this. Like I'm suddenly just going to reach out to Dave Chappelle and like he's going to respond. Anybody?
You never know.
Yeah.
Who gave you your fashion advice to help you with the evolution from 1995? Tim Macy needs help now.
Yeah, the photo that was recently posted. Where did you guys get? I'm looking at Courtney. Where did that photo come from? And can we burn the original?
Throwback Thursday should be a new series.
Oh my God. Yeah. So my mom, like 4 years after she kicked me out, she gave me like a big yellow envelope of like every photo of me. And I promptly threw it in the fireplace.
Well,
like
some of them,
and like I'm they're occasionally they spill out because of my older brother. David August. I give all my the answer is David August. Like
okay. I'll let Tim know.
Yeah, I don't know if you can help Tim.
Does he make T-shirts? Sorry, Tim. I love you.
No. You know what he could do? Big shout out to David August. He could do the McGregor August collection, which is the partnership with Conor McGregor and David together. More joggers, casual T-shirts, and Timmy's Timmy. Like Tim, just keep being you. Like screw Katie. Like forget that. Separate. We should just edit that. Just send it to him.
Okay. Well, I thought this was going to be a good episode.
Yes.
All right. We'll do one more. We'll do one more professional.
Okay.
What's the next step for a solo agent to maximize their time in production? Would you say an assistant or a TC?
It really is going to come down to your personality type and your organizational skills. So if you are high I, super expressive, you need an assistant because you really need like guardrails. Like you need a dog collar and let them just get back on the phone, right? But if you're like super organized, having a TC is going to save you, depending on what your transaction volume is, 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're giving back 20 hours a week and you know that somebody else is better at it and they're really doing the work effectively, that would probably take that agent 30. I mean, I've been doing this for so long. Like I literally would say like to a client 25 years ago, what are you doing this week? Oh, I've got like 3 closings. So I'm spending all my time on that.
Yeah.
And they weren't kidding.
Yeah.
Like all of their time was dedicated because they were doing everything. They didn't have an assistant. So I think if you're super organized, it's TC. If you're high expressive and you need more guardrails, then it's absolutely getting your own assistant. That's it.
Is there anything that you want to add that we haven't touched on?
How did you come up with moving to Texas? And why is it just TX and not Texas?
So I have both. Like I have the full logo.
Yeah.
Move Me to TX was the only thing that I could find on Instagram, Twitter, URL,
smart,
Facebook, like all of the things.
Yeah.
Right. As like I was trying to figure out a brand because like I mean Houston, there's 45,000 real estate agents, right? So like all of the URLs of like Houston things were taken, and I was like, maybe one day we'll take over Texas. Who knows?
Yeah. It'd be cool if you just said like move me to the South. Do you know what I mean? Like think about it, like just how much a bigger land grab and.
Yeah.
Then you just have all these like little groups around you. Still do it.
Yeah.
Have you looked at like franchising moving to Texas?
No.
Or expanding it or just growing the reach?
Yeah, I think eventually we will. But like my personality, everything needs to have like a system and a process now, right?
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
So, I want to do it the right way, and I want to make sure that like we're adding value and aren't just expanding. Like, a lot of people expand for the sake of expansion and grow their teams and then realize it's not profitable or they have bad culture or whatever it may be. So like we for a very long time grew very slowly. So now we're focusing a little bit, faster growth. And
have you been public about your growth goals for this year? Like how many new Rockstar agents you want to bring on board? Is that out there yet?
I'm pretty sure I said it on your podcast, didn't I?
I thought you did, but have you said it on your podcast?
Sure.
25.
Thanks,
25.
Tom. Thanks.
25.
All right.
Adding 25, like net 25 or get to 25?
Net 25.
How do you determine what a net effective salesperson is?
Man, you just like kind of stumped me there.
Well, I mean, you can have 25 bodies on your team and no one sells a house, but there's got to be
scary.
Some benchmark
that
of like,
actually made my palms sweat. No,
Have
so I mean, our goal is for everyone to sell at least 2 or put 2 under contract each month.
Okay, so net effective is 24 PPP per person, not average of the
per person.
Okay, so 24 is the net effective. And have you thought through, or do you have any early data points on how long it takes?
I want it in the first 30 days. It's normally like 60.
Okay,
as far as them getting to the point where they're regularly getting things under contract. Like I want their first deal in 30 days.
Yeah, I understand that. I would argue that it's probably 18 months to 2 years.
18 months to 2 years that they would.
Am I keeping you busy here?
No,
I'm just messing with you. I think it's 18 months to 2 years before somebody becomes truly net effective. Really gets the culture, really understands it. Because you can bury people, and we see people doing this. They just bury somebody with like appointments, and they go out and they're like, "Oh my God, she's amazing. She did 6 deals." Yeah, but she like missed on 32.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like, net effective is like, if you're doing 2 a month, is that 10 new clients a month that they get access to that they're working with? Is it 15 that they're working with? Like it's all those incremental numbers that matter to me.
But then here's the scary thing too, is if you're saying you said 18 to 24 months.
Yeah.
Until they're into that fully. I mean, most teams that run on a buyer agent structure have 18 to 36 months with that agent. And
only if they have a myopic comp plan.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. But if you have a more expansive comp plan and you're like, hey, my job is, I would love for you to be with me for the next decade.
Yeah.
Right. And help transform you and your family's financial life. Let me tell you what the first 24 months look like. Let me tell you what the next 5 years look like. Let me tell you what the next 3 years after that looks like. And now and it doesn't mean that everyone's going to stay. Cause like, I mean, look at the business that we're in, like people come and people go. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
There's always a new company. There's always a new flavor. There's always a new brand. There's a new compensation model. So, we are, as an industry, it's endemic churn. 2% of the industry is just moving all the time, right? But I think by having a more thoughtful approach to say, I'd like you to be with me for a decade.
Yeah.
Right? And this is what it would look like. The first 24 months, you're going to be on this split because I'm going to inundate you with leads and opportunities and clients, and you're going to mature very quickly.
Yeah.
And let me show you what happens to typical new agents at every other brand in town that doesn't have this. And then we're going to start to transition where you do more past client, referral, maybe we start a farm, and then we adjust the splits to this because we acknowledge we're no longer spending all this money on leads for you. Instead, we're helping you nurture your business and, it's that kind of thing.
What a great coaching call. Thank you for this.
I've shared that script a few times with a few friends. Like, why do our salespeople keep leaving? I'm like, because they mature really fast and you don't have a next step for them.
Well, and that's something that like on one of the pages has been something that's been talked about a lot of like, what does the career path look like? Because I think we focus in on, the new agent avatar, the new to us agent avatar, and don't focus in on how do we keep. So that's definitely something that we've been thinking about in the conversations we're having. With our agents.
Go back to what we were saying offline. Like, grinding is awesome, but grinding without destination, you turn to dust.
All right, I'm gonna hit you with the last question, unless you have something else you want to add.
I don't know. I could keep asking you a lot of questions, but it is your show.
I mean, it's the other person to have a similar approach to our podcast was Jeff Mays.
Yeah.
And 5 minutes in, he's like asking us questions, and Steve and I were like, because like we have a back channel because normally we do these via Zoom, right? So Steve and I are like texting or chatting.
Who's interviewing who here?
And that's what we said. I was like, can we rein it back in? He's like, I don't think we can.
Yeah.
Like I think
Jeff is like an unstoppable force.
Oh yeah, no, it was just like he's like, I'm not going up against Super Coach Jeff.
Right. Well, hey man, let me talk about.
Yeah. And you could
Yeah.
listen to him talk forever, you know?
He's such a Southern charmer.
Yeah.
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 Do you ever see the movie Tin Cup?
I don't really watch movies.
Anybody? Oh my, I'm so like surrounded by all these people that like, God, I just felt old all of a sudden. Everyone else had seen Tin Cup. Kevin Costner's character.
Who's
That's
that?
Jeff Mays.
I'm just kidding.
Who's
I'm
Kevin
kidding.
Costner?
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'm gonna punch you.
Yeah.
Do
in my
you
throat.
have you seen any of the shows that take place in Montana, but they're actually filmed, I think, in Salt Lake City?
Yellowstone?
Yeah, Yellowstone.
I've watched the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Season 3 I watched a little, and I think the 4th season came out
Yeah.
recently.
I think that entire show is probably responsible for $1 billion in sales. I think more people have watched that and just said, I want a ranch. I want a horse. And except like anybody that's watched that show, like the one thing my wife, who's been to Jackson Hole so many times and all these places in the winter, she's like, notice that show is only filmed in summer.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
And that's 3 months.
other
3
than
months if
you
you're
know,
in
the people
Wyoming.
wearing shorts and flip flops and a beanie.
Yeah. Yes, the stranger.
Yeah.
They you know what? Yes. It's good to be strange. Hey, if we were all the same.
What kind of world would we be in?
Right. It'd be scary.
All right. So I'm gonna. May I ask?
Yeah.
Are we? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Last question.
I don't even know what that was.
Hard
Like,
hitting. Well, I just want to make
what
sure.
if I said no?
And I'd be like, all right, mic
right.
drop. See you later.
Yeah.
Leave
Yeah,
the room. All right. If it were your last meal on Earth, what would you be eating?
Sushi with my kids at the Mandarin Oriental in the penthouse, like top floor in Tokyo.
I hear they have good sushi in Tokyo.
They have some really good chefs there. They've imported most of them from Vegas.
Cool. Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much for taking time
Yeah.
to chat.
Yeah.
Always
Thank you.
a great time.
Yeah. Super proud of you.
If people don't know or don't follow you on social media, where could they
Yes.
find you online?
At Brian Buffini. No, I'm just- no. I love Brian. Just razzing. Yeah. I mean, if you just Google my name, like at Tom Ferry, pretty much everywhere. Big shout out to Gary Vaynerchuk a million years ago. Got me to drop coach on everything and then buy all of the at Tom Ferry. So big shout out to Gary.
Yeah.
That was a great move. So yeah, love to follow. Or hey, make them sake of following. Click on one of my ads and watch what happens. We'll follow you everywhere.
I mean, even if you just click on, I think, Instagram, it's going to happen.
That's true. But by the way, isn't that what we all should be doing? Yes. The answer is yes.
Yes, coach.
Top of mind. All right.
Yes,
okay.
coach.
Hey, I really appreciate you. Congrats on your success and thanks for having me on your podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah.